good afternoon and welcome to Loyola University of Chicago. My name is Mike Murphy. I'm the director of the Hank Center in Catholic Studies here at Loyola. And on behalf of the Joan and Bill Hank Center for the Catholic Intellectual Heritage and Dr. Nancy Tuckman, who's the Dean of the Institute of Environmental Sustainability, we welcome you to Loyola and to our talk. We're really glad you're here. We have wonderful programming, as does IES, over the year, and I'll direct you to our table back there, which has programming info on it, and you can always go to our webpage as well. And I want to thank our Crackerjack staff, Gabby and Amy and Megan, for being here. We couldn't do anything without them. So they'll be around if you wanted to ask them any questions. We have some good stuff coming up this semester. What a lovely day for a talk such as this. And, you know, we're not outside, but this is pretty close, so we can enjoy this. Especially as we celebrate the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi. A person of singular vision, I think we could all agree, who understood the beauty of being a creature, simply, just being a creature. I wish we could bring our pets today, or the other creatures we'd love to have a blessing. But I think about St. Francis even beyond the blessing of the pets. He was a person in full. And he truly loved, he truly cared for creation as a sibling to all creation. As simple as that is and as profound as that is, to be a sibling of all creation. So I know that our friend Aaron will speak in that vein. I'd like to welcome Aaron William Perry to our midst. It's my honor to do so, Aaron. Aaron and I have been corresponding for a couple of years, but I got to meet him last year at our climate change conference, which is an excellent thing to go to in the spring. Wow, is there ever more of a needed time for a climate change conference? I don't think so. Which gets me thinking about our e-textbook, Healing Earth, and the award it received just this last week in the Vatican. The Expanded Reason Award given by a kind of a pontifical committee, but our very own Dr. Michael Shook and our very own Dr. Nancy Tuckman, really in speaking for so many others who worked on the project, received this award in the Vatican and the 25,000 euro to keep this good work going. I'd like to really actually give a round of applause for that. And if you're not involved in the project and you're interested in it, we're glad to have you in some way. We're always doing this kind of work, and it takes a community to do so. Aaron is a kindred spirit in this regard, and we're happy he's here. He's a social impact entrepreneur and a consultant in the sustainability, social enterprise, and regenerative economics arena. He has launched companies in the recycling, renewable energy, and local, natural, organic food industries, to name a few. Aaron consults to dozens of organizations and companies and the entrepreneurs leading them, and understands many of the complex, interconnected challenges and opportunities these leaders are engaging. An experienced business writer, Aaron holds an MA from the University of Colorado at Boulder, where he studied philosophy, literature, environmental policy, and sustainable development in grad school there, while on weekends getting away to study permaculture and indigenous wisdoms at remote environments in the Rocky Mountain area. Isn't that a wonderful complex of fields? I think we'd agree it is. You know, Aaron also, let's add to that, he's also Jesuit educated, right? And he studied under our good friend and former colleague, Father Mark Bosco at Regis High School in Denver. Aaron is the father of 2 bright teenagers, a fact that gives him great joy. And he loves working with young people and is employed along the way and educated and mentored dozens of bright millennial leaders. So we look forward with delight to Aaron's presentation, and let us all give him a proper Loyola welcome. Thanks, Aaron.
Hello, friends. Hi. Good to see you. And maybe we can just give a quick reflective silence of appreciation for the miraculous material we have called glass, which allows us to enjoy the beauty of the outdoors without being blown away by the wind. And so this is what a wonderful room, and it's so wonderful to be here with you all on the water. I live in Colorado and we don't have very much water like this. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you to Mike and Megan, Gabby, Nancy, not at all, Father Steve, thank you so much. And I'm filled with enthusiasm to go on a bit of an adventure with you today. And hopefully we'll have some fun. Hopefully you'll walk away a little bit more informed and a whole lot more inspired about what it means to be living in these times and the choices and opportunities that we each have in these times. We'll do a little bit of interactive breakout work as well. So don't get too concerned here that we're going to be just sitting still the entire time. And when Mike and I were talking over the last few months, we got to talking about bringing together the concepts of sacred sustainability, life hacking, and our living traditions in our spiritual lives. So what I've got up here are a handful of words that I hope we spend a little time reflecting on, and really reflecting on their meaning. And I think I'll mention also that I ended up doing a lot of reflecting on some of these words. The process culminating in a book which I wrote and was published earlier this year called Why on Earth. And Mike mentioned that I've worked with a number of millennials, including my kids. Although my son is young enough, he's just on the cusp. He's on the young end of being designated in the millennial generation. And that's one of the meanings behind the name of the book, Why on Earth. It's a reference to Gen Y. And just to share a little, probably too much about myself, I missed the Gen Y cutoff by about 4 years, according to most of the literature out there. So we define Gen Y as folks born roughly between 1980 and the early aughts, 2001, 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. Now the book is not only for millennials, the book is also for parents, grandparents, and educators of millennials, which is a roundabout way of saying just about all of us. And what I hope to do, both in the book and in our discussion today, is help connect some dots for you all that leave you a bit more educated as to some of the issues, challenges, and opportunities we have in front of us, but more than anything, with a sense of hope and empowerment that at the end of the day, what we end up experiencing in the future is up to us, by and large, and is going to be so substantially influenced by what we choose to do as individuals, as communities, and therein lies a great hope. All right, and as Mike also mentioned, today is a beautiful day, an auspicious day, as we celebrate the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. Now, I might throw a curveball at you all. While we may not have our dogs here, our cats, our rabbits, whatever pets we might keep at home, we actually have a whole lot of critters with us in the microbiome in our body. And we're going to talk about that a little more. And so through the course of this afternoon, we might have the opportunity to invoke some blessing for the microbiome we carry with us every day. All right, let me ask you guys a very simple question. Who's feeling joy today? Okay, beautiful. Who's not feeling joy today? Is that who? Not so much.
It resonated for both.
For both. Thanks, Patrick. Well, who would like to feel more joy?
Yeah.
Generally? Yeah. Okay. So that tends to be a very common theme in communities all over, regardless of political persuasion, regardless of education level, regardless of economic status, regardless of all of these things that we often end up thinking about when we're thinking about society. We, generally speaking, would like to experience more joy. And it turns out that there might be a key there that unlocks some of the very big and complex puzzles we face when we're talking about sustainability. So let's talk about cultivating joy. Let's talk about getting smarter and feeling better as we move forward and engage with some of the opportunities and challenges that we face. Okay, now if you could, would the folks who are helping to volunteer in our discussion groups, please raise your hands. Thank you. And if we could, we're gonna do a few quick reflections in small groups. So if you wouldn't mind, if you keep your hands raised. In the audience, if you wouldn't mind congregating around the nearest volunteer, and let's try to spread out somewhat evenly. It looks like we get to about 6 to 8 of us per. And we can reconfigure our seating for efficiency's sake, because we're going to have a few questions and answers, a few conversations. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of reconfiguring, and we'll reorganize a little bit here, if that's okay with you all.
Hello. I'm Billy. Billy, yes.
My name is Pat.
Yeah, well, you guys are everyone saying hi, getting to know each other. Does everybody know everybody? No, just kidding. Okay, so here, if everybody is more or less in a group, what I'd like to do is take a minute or two and ask you all to discuss what the heck does life hack mean? What does it mean to life hack? What is life hacking?
That's what I came to find out.
All right.
Maybe something easier, more.
See, that was not in my plan. I don't know what's happening, so it's
So hacking is like life hacking is short characteristics that makes some part of life small.
Encounter a lot of time.
That's right.